Hey guys, this is Wolfie. Sorry for the hold up there. Kind of a bad connection. If it gets pretty bad, I'll go ahead and turn off the live. But anyway, I know I shaved the beard. Never doing it. I am never shaving again because I haven't shaved in like a year, so this is kind of a trip. Anyway, let's get back to you guys will give a shit about that. Let's get back to this. Nick Wright pretty much is one of Brock Purdy's biggest haters, so let's go ahead and see what he has to say. And I've already seen it, and it's kind of funny because he does bring up an article of a fellow 49ers content creator we're aware of. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and check it out and watch it. So what he has to say.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wait, Brock Purdy, the guy that as a rookie stared across the field and saw the GOAT, Tom Brady, and goes out and throws 2 touchdown passes and has a 134 passer.
Toe-to-toe with the GOAT.
The guy that as a rookie went 3-0 without Deebo Samuel, one of his Avengers, as Nick.
How did he do without Deebo last year?
The guy that threw for 330 plus yards.
I'm just saying because everyone says that Brock Purdy needs Deebo, and it's like he did play without Deebo for 3 games the year prior for his rookie year without Deebo. It's more like he played without Trent and Deebo, and when you don't got Trent out there, you got the worst offensive line out there. So get the man some slack. Anyway, let's continue. Brousard he cooks here.
Yards and 3 touchdowns in his playoff debut as a rookie. The guy that answered, Nick, the worst stretch of his career last year. 3 straight losses, Cincinnati, Minnesota, Cleveland.
Was concussed for one of them.
Yeah. Yes. He answered that stretch by throwing 17 touchdowns, 2 picks in the next 6 games.
Yeah.
The guy that answered the Christmas Day debacle, where he threw 4 interceptions on national TV. Everybody's watching.
Yeah.
He flies out of the MVP race, which he had been in, and he answers that by leading 2 come-from-behind victories in the playoffs to get them to the Super Bowl and walks off the field with the lead.
Yep, that's right.
That I'm supposed to not believe in him because of 2 bad practices? When that's what's on his resume? No.
Okay, so
it's going to take a lot more than that.
So
I love that argument. Like, just look at the body of work. You know, he's proven that those interceptions don't matter because last year he also had those problems. So everything he's saying is just his body of work says it for himself. Like, the interceptions are not a big deal. And yeah, so I like that. I like what he had to say.
So 7
not to believe.
7 interceptions yesterday.
It was 2 bad practices.
No, I'm not even talking about the first. Listen,
7 yesterday, whatever.
Whatever.
The next day, he threw 0 interceptions, and he was incredible. And he did not have Ayuk out there. Yeah.
It's too much.
7 total. Over
No,
the last 2
I
days.
Certainly
right, no.
100 would be.
Right,
I mean,
no,
you
but
gotta
I'm
get to
asking
somewhere.
you because
what?
Brew, every single thing you said was independent of how he's played in preseason. So all of your
2
evidence,
practices.
right?
Is that
So
a full
up
preseason?
up to this
go
point.
ahead.
So
I'm gonna listen.
what I'm saying is, it sounds like there is no amount of interceptions he could have thrown yesterday to make you concerned.
No, there has.
Because all
That's a bit of an exaggeration. That's not fair. Like, if he was throwing, like, picks that were blatantly bad, if he was throwing picks that even people coming out of practice would say, okay, that was definitely 110% his fault. You're not hearing that. You are hearing these 3 interceptions, but you're not hearing, like, okay, he's playing terrible and he's throwing interceptions. It's an accumulation of things. You can't just take one stat. You got to put them all together, and that's why it's kind of fair.
all of that. Wait,
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, because he started yesterday's practice.
He was 7 of 7.
Great,
I've got
right?
it. You gave the history of his career. I'll give the history of yesterday, if I may,
if he
for
had
a
thrown
moment.
an interception on every single pass.
Well,
I mean,
okay, so there
He's
is
just humanity.
there's the issue is this.
Mhm.
There's no way I'm going to overlook a 17-4 start to your career.
Yeah.
The best. Now, I know he hadn't played enough games yet,
My boy
but
Brock.
passer rating for his career of 111, the all-time best for a career, obviously much more of a sample size, Aaron Rodgers at 103.
103.6.
So that he started off to a great career. I'm not going to throw that out the window. After 2 practices, I get. Okay. I mean, I guess if he goes out there, I don't know what he would have had to do.
If I may, maybe I shouldn't have opened the door back up because I'm gonna go here for a second. I don't think the question is, does yesterday make you think Brock Purdy's a bum? It's beginning to waver. Is there a little bit based on the fact that this is the sequence of events as I see it?
Before he goes off, let me just say, Brock Purdy has been playing great without pads. Nothing's been said against him without pads. He had 2 straight days where he threw interceptions, 3 at first, 4th at next, so 7 interceptions. The next day, 0 interceptions. He played fantastic. So out of, I believe, if I remember correctly, 7 days, so he's had 5 great days, 2 bad ones. So, yeah, I think you're kind of over. I think this would be over analyzing it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy talks to Mike Silver and says, "I'm chasing Tom Brady. I want to."
Just to be fair, he didn't say I'm chasing Tom Brady. He said he wants to be He said he wants to be dominant in a Tom Brady. He didn't say I'm
dominant.
Tom Brady. Oh, you're the guy who's a stickler for words, man.
Thank
you. He didn't say I'm chasing Tom Brady.
Okay, all right. If the audience thought I was giving a direct quote there, I apologize. I think it would have been very clear when I finished my sentence what I was doing.
Whoa, whoa, hey man, wait. I didn't really mean actually quote unquote, it's a paraphrase. Well, a paraphrase that, benefits you in your argument. So that's not really fair. Maybe if it was an unbiased paraphrase,
Okay, all right. If the audience thought
that he wants to be he said he wants to be dominant in a Tom Brady. He didn't say I'm chasing Tom Brady. Oh, you're the guy who's a stickler for words, man.
Thank
you. He didn't say I'm chasing Tom Brady.
Okay, all right. If the audience thought I was giving a direct quote there, I apologize. I think it would have been very clear when I finished my sentence what I was doing. But regardless, this is the sequence of events as I see it.
Go.
He gives an interview with Mike Silver where he says he wants to change the way he's playing. Sure. Again, not a direct quote, I'm paraphrasing. Where we have a lead, and instead of being careful, go for the jugular.
What do you expect me to say?
I took it as chasing Tom Brady being like, I want to be like Tom was. Not chasing him for 7 Super Bowls and 3 league MVPs. I want to be more Tom Brady-ish. That interview happens. He then has a practice where he throws a hat trick of interceptions, and I show you guys the tweet from Jimmy Garoppolo's practice 5 years ago when he threw 5, and you guys were like, well, he didn't throw 5. And then yesterday when I was gone, we find out that after starting 7 of 7, on the next 8 throws he has, 4 are picked, 2 are dropped picks, 1 is a dump off to use check, and 1 is an incompletion.
So it wasn't even like 2 bad days of practice because his first day was really bad. He had a bad day. He had actually a bad day on his first day of pads. Second day, however, he actually just made the argument that he didn't even have a full day of bad practice. It was really, he's had 1.5 bad practices. So, if anything, he just made the argument that it's really not that bad.
So, a couple drop picks away from 6 interceptions, which maybe would have made you concerned.
Is Tom Green looking to make sense?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I'll put that up. Papa J, welcome back, man. Welcome back. For real. I never thought of that. You actually think I would have. That's actually clever. I like it. Okay.
Oh, so I think Brock Purdy is the most interesting player in the league this year. Because if he does try to be something he's
Remember that, y'all. He said he's the most interesting player. I praise.
Which is prove to the world, I ain't no bus rider, I'm a bus driver. It'll kneecap the Niners. And if he just plays within colors inside the lines, as I think he has very well, better than Jimmy Garoppolo did for this Niners team, we are going to probably have a lot of the same debates we had last year. I'm not the only person that is concerned about this. Brew's favorite publication, Sports Illustrated, had a whole article about Brock Purdy, and I'll read you a big chunk.
I forgot about this. I had it written down too. I knew this was going to happen. He's about to whip out a Grant Cohn quote right now. And I just think it's ironic because like he would, man. He would. A Brock Purdy hater would whip out a Grant Cohn article. That's actually hilarious.
Think of it because I think sometimes I'm painted as the bad guy. This is Sports Illustrated. The 49ers don't game plan for practices, and every quarterback benefits from a good game plan. During the regular season, Purdy usually has all of his elite weapons, plus his future Hall of Fame left tackle, so someone's open on every play. He just has to find the open man, deliver the ball accurately on time, which he can do. A lot of quarterbacks could do that if they played with Purdy's weapons. But Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk haven't practiced yet this offseason. So instead of having 6 All-Pros around him, Purdy has 4. Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey, and Kyle Juszczyk. And Purdy doesn't play well when he has less than 5 or 6. Doesn't play as well. Thank you. As well when he has 5 or 6 All-Pros at his disposal. Makes you wonder how he'll play when the 49ers give him $60 million per season and can't afford to surround him with 6 All-Pros anymore. Again, that's not Nick.
I truly feel like a lot of people can actually agree with this. Brock Purdy played better than Trevor Lawrence did last year. Brock Purdy is better than Trevor Lawrence. So if he gets $55 million, would it be that much outrageous that Brock Purdy gets $55 million?
Nick Wright. That's 49ers reporter for Sports Illustrated, Grant Cohn. Now, it sounds a lot like what Nick Wright thinks, but that's from Sports Illustrated, who I know you respect because you quote him all the time.
Well,
yeah. But
that was an odd article because it started out like Purdy's great and he's showing everybody that, and then it did kind of go negative to your point. Yeah. So it was I didn't know which way he was going. Because it started out like Purdy's great and he's showing everybody that, and then it did kind of go negative to your point. So it was I didn't know which way he was going because if you read it, so at the start he was talking about Purdy's proven he's great. No, hardly anybody denies that anymore. So, but no, look, if this, I don't know if this is a product of him being more aggressive. And Coach Mangini made great points yesterday. In practice, you oftentimes try to make throws that you wouldn't in a game. See what you can get away with. You're testing your receivers. Can they, are they going to make this catch if I throw it here or there? Can I get in this tight window? So a lot of times you may be taking risk that you would not take in a game. But you are right in that. If he is of the mentality, I'm going to go out and be more assertive, more aggressive, then we'll see.
Yes.
High risk and definitely potentially high reward.
No doubt.
But definitely high risk too. If Purdy continues to do this throughout preseason, I mean, I don't think Shanahan would let this go on very long before he's like, look, I don't know what you're trying to do, but we got to the Super Bowl. We got within 3 or 4 points of winning a Super Bowl. Let's do what you've been doing to get here. Like, I don't think it's going to be like, if Purdy continues to struggle in practice like this, they're not going to say anything to him. They're going to put him in check.
I can't tell if he's struggling.
That's a very good point. Like if he was actually concerned, Kyle Shanahan would actually intervene and be like, hey, what are you doing? Especially when it's only been it's very limited in practice that he's been in this situation where he's throwing these interceptions. Excuse me. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, especially if Kyle Shanahan's not freaking out about it, because I think that if it really was, he'd be going back to the basics and, not letting him try new things. So, is that the end of it? No, we got one.
No,
it's hard.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I'll give you an example. I tweeted it flippantly. But Aaron Rodgers threw 6 straight touchdowns against the Jets defense. And I wrote, so much for that vaunted Jets defense. I don't know how much stock to put into preseason statistics.
So I think that if the Jets were running red zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means I don't know if they were at the goal line, the 5, the 10, but they were running a drill where every single play is happening at the 20 or inside. Mm-hmm. The Niners were running their full, I forgot what they called it, ball movement, meaning as a real drive is what they were trying to do offense defense, and Purdy was throwing those picks. I think you can have sometimes inflated touchdowns when it's like, hey, we're going to run 5 straight plays from the 5-yard line, whether you score or not. The picks thing, to me, when they are charting what his completions were, when they are 11 on 11, and he starts 7 of 7 with 2 nice deep touchdown passes, and then all of a sudden on an 8-play stretch has 4 picks and 2 drop picks, there is no, to me, that's why I push back on you don't know how he did. He did poorly. The answer is like, that was a bad practice for him. Now, it is just a practice. The reason I brought up the quotes and the practice before is, I think if you're Brock Purdy, this is such a unique season where it is like, man, if I play the safest football imaginable, don't take any chances, I'm basically guaranteed $100 million. You know what I mean? But that goes against
if you can do that successfully, I feel like every single
competitors are. You know what I mean? If he's just like, I'm going to play, I'm going to put my numbers the way I think Russell Wilson played last year, essentially. You know what I mean? But that goes against who athletes are. That's why I find it so interesting that we saw the first ever kind of chest out quotes from him, and then back to back hat trick plus of interceptions. All right, so thanks for watching. Subscribe.
That's kind of the crazy thing about Brock Purdy, so he doesn't usually give you those kind of quotes. Usually he's very kind of humble, kind of keeps to himself, is very straightforward at the same time. So it's kind of different hearing something like that, but it's at the same time, it's humble too, because he's like, I want to get there, but I know that takes hard work, blah, 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 etc. I want to be dominant, and it's, dude's humble, man. Both these guys, sometimes they can do that for sure. It's because I think they're competing against each other, so, and then one says something that catches them off guard. They have to think of something, not realizing they contradict themselves. I like Broussard, though. I actually like Broussard. Nick, I like his Aaron Rodgers takes. I think those are funny just because I'm a natural-born Aaron Rodgers hater, so. Anyway, my final thoughts on that. I think, obviously just a hater. I think the Grant Cohn thing was pretty funny. And Broussard's right. Brock Purdy's body of work says a lot. If Brock Purdy was like a below average quarterback and he's throwing these interceptions, I think that would be kind of worrisome. Yeah, as if like as if. Let me put this up there so people know what I'm talking about. They're talking as if like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be the best quarterback and just destroy everybody. No, to be the best and to be good at your craft, you have to, be exactly what he's saying, which is being dominant. Make sure you're on your P's and Q's. And that when he gets on the football field, that his body of work, kind of coming back to that, speaks for itself. And that's pretty much what Tom Brady was. And it wasn't talking about like this year that's going to be like that. He says that's a place where he wants to be at some point. So I think it's just because we never heard, like it's very rare we hear him say things like this so that we got to just blow it out of proportion. So anyway, let me go ahead and pull this back down. Stage. You guys like the live? Please like the live. If you guys like it, comment, your favorite rookie. I'd like to hear you guys' favorite rookies. Your favorite rookie. If you guys hear this right now, or you guys watch this video later, who's your favorite rookie so far? Mine is definitely Malik Mustafa. That's my favorite one so far. What am I doing next? There, share. All right. So this is an article about how Trey Lance is doing in Dallas's camp. And apparently he's not doing so hot. So let's go ahead and look at some of his highlights. Lance certainly doesn't have the job secured. That's definitely a quote for sure. Keep in mind, guys, we got the pick we got from Dallas for Trey Lance. We got Malik Mustafa. So Malik Mustafa becomes even remotely a star, and Lance becomes nothing. W fleece. W by John Lynch. Does it make up for the trade? Getting Trey Lance? Not really, but it's a small W. Take what you can get. So we had 2 interceptions on Wednesday, but they were quite notable. Let's find that right here. Here's one of them. Right here. Pooney's a close second. I agree. If he could take that, if he could secure that right guard spot, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be a big deal, especially for his 3rd round draft pick. Oh wait, I missed it. Okay, all right. Replay it. This is an interception by Trey Lance. Here we go, trying to be freaking Dak Prescott. Oh my God, that is terrible, dude. That was bad, brother. That was bad, dude. Okay. Let's try it again. Here we go. I mean, I guess the corner is kind of like, see how, what is it? I can't see that last. Is that Hall or Ball or whatever? The corner? I guess you can't see him behind that lineman there. That's my guess. He kind of just boom. That's probably why he just didn't see him completely. It's not very good quarterback status, but we know why he threw the pick. All right, here's the second one. Here's the second one by Trey Lance. Barely see it. All right. Okay, that one's bad. What? Kind of seemed like a floater, wasn't it? Like he was trying to do touch. Yeah, touch to this. Those are okay. That one was bad. That one was 110% his fault. There's no excuse on that one. So apparently he's been throwing other interceptions as well and things of that nature. Personally, I'm glad we got rid of him in the sense that he's not a distraction, because once we found out that Brock Purdy was the starter, I'm glad we got rid of him. Dude was raw. We knew he had high potential, but when someone is raw and high potential, that means there's a chance that he's also not going to be good. And that was the risk they took, and it was an L. At least we got a good player out of it, hopefully with Malik Mustafa. He's injury prone. That's kind of an issue. Again, we can't have that quarterback controversy. If Brock Purdy showed what he showed in the year they hurt his elbow, and then last year, I think that if Trey Lance was on the team when Brock Purdy was balling out last year, I think it kind of would have been a problem sometimes, especially during that 0-3 streak. So glad we got rid of him. Also, I was worried that if he turned out to be good and he goes to Dallas, that would have been a huge L by John Lynch, but that wasn't the case. So that's my opinion on Trey Lance. I'm glad that we got rid of him. And let me know what you guys think. Are you guys glad he's gone? Do you guys wish him the best? I do wish him the best, but in his own misery, what sucks about it is that it's the only way to get a W in the trade is by him not turning out to be good. So I guess just not as good as Purdy. So no. It's good and bad. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, I forgot to put up some of these banners. Shit, I'm tripping. Yeah, playoffs. Okay. I thought this was interesting. I found some stats about Jimmy Garoppolo and comparing his ability, what he did in the playoffs compared to what Brock Purdy did in the playoffs. Let's take a look at that. Hold on. First, I found this article from some sort of site called Quora. I never really heard of it, but I was trying to find, statistics on Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy and stuff, and I stumbled upon this guy's opinion. I don't know who it is. It's just I kind of agree with his assessment about how he played in the Super Bowl. However, I do disagree that true elite QBs. I feel like truly elite QBs can become inaccurate if they only have 1 second to throw a ball. But anyway, I digress. Let me. Dallas can't develop a quarterback. Yeah, I agree with that, dude. I agree with that. They seem to always have issues. Then again, what's his name? Cooper Rush guy looked pretty good in preseason. There's that guy. And actually, I thought Dak was going to be pretty darn good when he got when he first came out. I thought he was going to be darn good. I was really upset. I was like, dude, he was throwing dimes when he first came into the league. I thought he was pretty dang good, but then he kind of he regressed. It turns out he's not a playoff quarterback. Kind of like Lamar Jackson, not a playoff quarterback. It's just kind of he's got his ups and downs. Okay. Okay. So this guy here says, let me try to speak while I have cotton mouth. Hold on, let me drink something. So this is Brock Purdy about his play. Super Bowl loss to Kansas City Chiefs, Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo. This is what this guy has to say. Easily Purdy. I was impressed with how he handled things, avoid sacks, and he didn't try to do too much. True. I don't think he really tried going outside the norm. Pretty much what he was talking about earlier, where he wants to be able to do that. I think it kind of relates to this. I think he did a great job. He was just playing against Mahomes, and the game favors those super elite QBs in those tough situations. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and it's clutch. I wasn't at all surprised at the outcome, but Purdy has nothing. I repeat, nothing to feel bad about. I agree. There's a lot of players in that Super Bowl they should feel bad about. McCaffrey fumbling, Kittle messing with the player, not paying attention to the fumble, offensive line, multiple penalties, the muff punt, just so many things. But Brock Purdy, honestly, was like the only bright spot. Wasn't surprised at all, but he didn't turn the ball over. He did not. 0 interceptions. Jimmy Garoppolo had 2 in the Super Bowl. He led them on drives. He didn't throw any terrible passes that he should have easily completed, because when a big man as big as Chris Jones is chasing you, almost every QB is going to be inaccurate somewhat, except a truly elite QB. I think, like I said, a truly elite QB could fall under that kind of pressure. Whereas Jimmy G had a bad game in his Super Bowl loss. He did. Through 2 interceptions, that team was in the lead because of his defense and run game. That's true. I think the game before in the NFC Championship before that, we all know, through 8 passes, dude. He did nothing. It was terrible in the Super Bowl. I can honestly say Brock Purdy was the reason the 49ers had a chance to win that game. He wasn't Joe Montana, but he was solid. Yeah, I agree with that. Completely agree with that assessment. Dude was spot on. Pretty much spot on. Okay. And hold on, I got rid of here. Jimmy Garoppolo was 69.2% in passer rating in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy 89.3. In the fourth quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo was 3 for 11, 36 yards, had an interception and a sack. Brock Purdy was 5 for 7, 57 yards, a touchdown, and he made plays on his legs to extend them. So Brock Purdy also played significantly better in the fourth quarter. What was it? Jimmy Garoppolo's passer rating in the fourth quarter was 2.8. he had 2.8 passer rating in the fourth quarter, which is the lowest since it's been tracked. That is crazy, which is 1999. Not to mention, there's one thing a lot of people don't point out is the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo also played the 14th ranked defense against the Chiefs. Brock Purdy played against the best defense in the league. So with so much more odds against him, Brock Purdy had to play against a lot more. So, and here's so let's go ahead and compare his stats as well, so you can see his stats. So we saw the facts, we heard the facts. Let's go ahead and look at compare the games played. Jimmy Garoppolo has played 7 games in the playoffs. Brock Purdy's played 6, and in those games with less games, Brock Purdy has thrown the ball more. Significantly more yards, pretty much 1/4 more than him, a little more than 1/4. The TD to interception ratio is insane, 4-6 to Brock Purdy's 6-1. Interception ratio is 0.6 for Jimmy Garoppolo's 4.5. Passer rating, wow, 74 to Brock Purdy's 96. Yeah, it's safe to say that air yards per attempt is 8.29. Jimmy Garoppolo's 5.8, so he was barely throwing the ball. 5.8 in like compared to all the rest of QBs, like average is really low. That is below average. You want like 6.5 or higher is like average. 6.5 to 7. So maybe 7. About that. So even Brock Purdy's body of work in the playoffs significantly better. Oh, and Brock Purdy has 2 comebacks. All right. 2 comebacks in the playoffs. Down a lot. We've only seen something like that. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but last person to do something like that was Patrick Mahomes in the 2019 Super Bowl run. So, I forgot to put up the stats. 1 second, y'all. These were the stats here. I forgot to show right here, so you guys can see it. You can see the comparisons there. Top part, passing totals. Brock Purdy was just hands down better in every single way. So Trey will ever be a twin that his mother had to give up to Jesus. All right. Game changer. All right. So that's pretty much it. Brock is a beast. He is a beast. He is without a doubt the franchise quarterback. And if he can get better this season, that would say so much. I mean, yeah, that'd be crazy. Because the way he played now was already elite. Even if you think he's average, he played elite. It's kind of like how Kirk Cousins is average, but he still played an MVP level before he got hurt. So he still played elite. So no matter what you think of Brock Purdy, if he could play better than he did last year, it's a pretty big deal. So all we have to do, I think, honestly, if we can sign Ayuk and get Trent Williams back, if we have any more cap, any more moves to make, offensive line, I'll lose my mind if we get offensive line. But Tristan Wirfs signed the contract, so there's really nobody out there to play right tackle. So my final thoughts: Nick Wright is a huge Brock Purdy hater, and he will take whatever kind of bad day he will have and use it against him, even though it was just 1.5 days out of the 7 days of practice, because he's played great for the rest of those practices. So, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't translate. Trey Lance, I wish him the best, but at the same time I don't, because if he plays great and he turns out to be great, we lose the trade, which I don't want to happen. It's a double-edged sword. It truly is, because you want him to be good because you don't want to wish that upon someone, but And then Jimmy Garoppolo, not even close to Brock Purdy's talent in the playoffs whatsoever. Kyle Shanahan actually gave him a lot more freedoms. You can obviously tell based upon how many more passes Brock Purdy's made in the playoffs compared to Jimmy Garoppolo. So anyway, all right, guys. Thank you, Papa Jay, for jumping up in here, saying hi, and for the conversation. I appreciate it. To everyone who watched this later, if you guys like the content, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. Helps out the channel. If you like the content, please sub as well. All right. All right, guys. Much love. I'll see you next video.